Now, while we're all here, I'm going to start the next one, and I'm going to turn over to Mr. Landrum for the road issues that we've got.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct a public hearing to determine if the following section of the county road system have for any reason ceased to be used by the public, to the extent that no substantial public purpose is served by them, or that their removal from the county road system is otherwise in the best public interest. And those roads being Mineral Springs Road, Sandy Bottoms Road, Pleasant Union Extension. And we can take those up in any order that the board would like to. Perhaps Sandy Bottoms Road would be the first one, and then Pleasant Union Extension and Mineral Springs Road. With Sandy Bottoms Road, I've got a survey showing this, the area that is being at, that the citizens have asked us to close. And it's basically the groups that live on the road. It's my understanding that the road has been gated for almost, if not 20 years, almost 20 years, from point to point. That's being asked to be closed down. That being the case, I'll open it up to the floor. Does anybody have any testimony as to an objection or a reason why the county, it would not be in the county's best interest to cease maintenance on this road? Yes.
Shelton Prince. This, I don't have an objection to that. Would this be an appropriate time to ask a question?
Sure.
Relative to that? My property butts up against that road, but I'm kind of in the middle, not at the front, not at the end. And my question is, assuming it comes off the county maintenance and all of that, would I still have access to that road to get to my property and so forth?
This process does not foreclose any third-party rights to use that road bed, and really it's silent as to do the rights of third parties. Do third parties have the right to use this road bed? And the county is not answering that question. They're just saying that no substantial purpose is served by the continued maintenance of it. And so that would be, the county, it's kind of a misnomer to say the county is closing the road. They're not going to put up a berm or a ditch or a gate or anything to obstruct traffic, but they're not going to object if somebody else does, and they're not going to maintain it anymore. And in this situation, I don't know that there has been any county maintenance on it for several years.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, we're here for the Pleasant Union Extension. Is that, you saying that allows somebody that can put up barriers to block people from coming down the road, even though our property, we have a back, or it goes to the back of the property, would they be allowed to block us from using that part of the road?
I'm not saying that they would be allowed or would not be allowed.
Well, we may have,
But the county would
will not be maintaining that road. I understand that, but we still allowed to have easement to get to the back of our property from that Pleasant Union Extension.
If you currently have an easement to use that road, there's nothing that the county's action tonight will have no bearing on that.
Okay.
If that answers your question. I can't really tell you if you've got an easement to use it or not without knowing the fact pattern that established your usage
But
to.
we are connected to that road. Our driveway is connected to the road to the back of our property. And so if it's not maintained or abandoned by the county, that means anybody can walk up there or anybody can block that road, preventing us to using that.
Not necessarily. If you have a right, I mean, if you have an individual legal right to use that
Right.
road, then that's yours to protect and to preserve.
Okay, very well.
But we'll come back to
Thank you.
the actual area of that in just a minute.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Copeland, I'm just going to ask you for the purpose of the record. It's my understanding from discussions with you that you have placed gates at either end of this area that the board has looked at to close. And to your knowledge, there's been no county maintenance on it for almost 20 years. Okay.
And you're just asking the section of Sandy Bottoms is where the green barn is. Of course, the bridge is gone, so you can't get to it, so you're not asking for that section, it's just that green barn section,
No, it's actually both sides.
both sides?
But there's a,
There's a gate on both
gate on
sides.
the property. down
Okay, okay.
Is there anybody else that has any comments or questions on Sandy Bottoms Road, that proposed area? If not, I'd ask the board, if you would like to, you can entertain a motion to cease public county maintenance for that section of the road, or you can defer and wait till your next open meeting, whichever you prefer. You're basically voting to remove this road from the county road
I
system.
move that we go ahead and do it this time.
All right, I have a move, go ahead. Got a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, now the move is to do away with the maintenance.
Right.
To remove this from the county road system.
Remove this from the county.
section.
All right, so I have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you.
You had asked about Pleasant Union Extension.
Yes, sir.
Tim, what is your name?
My name is Phil Alexander. This is my wife, Angie Alexander.
Angela?
Yes, sir.
Angela, okay. I'd also like for the record to show that on all three of these, we've run we've notified the contiguous property owners as required by the code section. We've also run the required legal ad in the newspaper prior to this hearing.
John, come here a second, please. These drawings are all black and white. Can you kind of point out what these are looking at? Is that it right there? Okay, that is it. Ron, you got that on the overhead? I don't have that one on the overhead. No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to him. But I think that's classified, isn't it on the road list as Pleasant Union Extension?
Mhm.
And it's the complete Pleasant Union Extension?
It's all of that.
From Henderson Mountain all the way down.
Just a short piece. The one we got the water line down the middle of. Okay.
Well, as we said, there would be, if they vote to approve to abandon this, there would be a quitclaim deed to those contiguous landowners on any of these, in Sandy Bottoms or this one or the next one. And the quitclaim deed is just releasing any interest the county has in it. It's not a warranty that the county had the right to use it, of course. We feel like we do because we're abandoning it or taking it out of the road system now. And so as far as establishing your third-party rights to use that road bed, that would be something to take to your attorney to have them review and explain to you how to establish those rights, or probably maybe those rights have already been established and how to preserve those rights.
Well, the question I have, I got the property from my parents, and my mom didn't know that much about it, and my daddy is passed away. So I need to see if I have I guess, easement from before that could be transferred to me, or I don't really understand what exactly you're saying, so I'll have to get some advice.
Probably would do good to get with an attorney that can help you with real estate.
Yes, sir.
And have them search the title and see what was conveyed, or if there are other easement rights within your predecessor entirely.
My problem that I have is the back of the property. That is the only access I have to my buildings, my sheds, my well. So that's what I need to.
Are you currently relying on county maintenance to preserve that
No.
roadway?
I just want to make sure that I have access to that in the future.
As I said, nothing that, all the counties do, if they vote in the affirmative, all they are voting for is to remove it from the county road system. They are silent as to what third-party rights are.
So we'll just maintain it ourselves?
Yes, should they vote.
Other than the fact of, we have a water line down the middle of that road.
Yeah, when they convey that, when that quitclaim deed is conveyed to those contiguous landowners, the county will retain the water, the easement for the water line that's in there. So, and so the significance of that is, if there is pavement, for example, if that road is paved by those contiguous landowners and the county had to maintain their water line, though the county would not be liable to repave the road after they dug it up to get to the water. So,
So what's the county's width on that easement?
I don't know. Any other comments on Pleasant Union Extension?
Phil, I have a
Yes.
question. If they don't have an easement, would anything that we do this evening affect them being able to get one?
No. I mean, we would convey, we're going to convey them a quitclaim deed for that road there.
Okay.
And that,
Say the question a little louder, Ronald. Did you hear the question?
Yeah, well, not that one I did, but what we're trying to do is not close them off, because that's the only way Miss Lucy has them, is right down by hers. And hers is like maybe 60 foot right there from the corner of Henderson Mountain into the driveway to the garage. But we're not talking about trying to close that completely down, just through traffic, because we having too many people bothering stuff on down the road there.
What you're saying is you would like to shut the road,
From
handle the traffic of the road by means of putting electric gates or whatever, where everybody else can get in there and stop through traffic?
Not at the end, at Miss Lucy's driveway,
Oh,
which
okay.
is probably 75 feet down from their property line.
well, any sort of obstruction like that would be subject to the rights of third parties had they already established them. So if somebody is living on that road, has a house on that road, and they're using that roadway to get to their house, then I think they would have to be in agreement for you to put a gate up. But no, I'm not
Well, she
giving
owns
legal
both-
advice on
She owns the
this.
property on both sides from
Yeah,
one corner here, not all the way down, and then from the corner of the Warrens, all the way down to the corner of Pleasant Union, both ways.
but you don't have any, if I'm hearing you right, you don't have any objection to the county removing this from their maintenance?
No, actually, I'm for it.
Okay.
And your bottom line is the same question that Mr. Landrum asked him, your bottom line, are you for closing the road also, but you want to have access to your backside of your property? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. If he closes one end off, that's fine, as long as I have access on the other end. That's fine.
Can I go as far as say this, and could y'all two work out some sort of agreement between you two where they would have access to their backside of their property?
Well, they've got the driveway going into the building, I mean, that's fine with us, because Miss Lucy gotta go in and out the same way. And I don't mind keeping the road up.
That's fine, if he agrees to that, there's no problem.
Well, that'll stop by, it'd be easier to keep your road up, you got people from flying down through there.
Well, we just got too much traffic on it, too much nighttime traffic that doesn't need to be there. And I'm concerned my cattle, because they've been a lot of spotlight here recently on that road. We're not trying to fence them off or anything.
Roy, you been down there on that end of the county?
Rick, I think you can answer this. Other than what Miss Lucy owns, the rest of that property, whether it's the Warrens or yours, was all part of a platted subdivision earlier that Mr. Bohannon initially
No,
did?
but what they got was Mr. Bohannon, and my side was not Miss Lucy's side.
That's what I'm saying. Everything that everybody else owns is part of a platted subdivision, so I don't think anybody's gonna have an issue with right of title to access. And then Miss Lucy, as he said, owns the other side of the road and part over here, so I think that everybody's got their rights intact for the Warrens and everything. I don't think access is gonna be an
No, we
issue.
wouldn't want it, we wouldn't want
Yeah.
to bother them being
Yeah.
able to get into their garage, no, no.
All right,
We're
y'all-
gonna stop the through traffic, I guess is what we're trying to say.
Okay, I understand that. So y'all are fine?
Yeah, no objection about stopping the traffic, just
Okay,
stopping us getting to it.
all right. And y'all are fine? Okay.
That being said, if the board would like to entertain a motion,
So maybe.
and that'd be a motion to remove it from the county, remove Pleasant Union Extension, the entirety of it from the county road system.
That's correct. All right, have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let it know by saying aye. None opposed, thank you.
Next one would be Mineral Springs Road. Is there anybody here on behalf of that road?
If I may, I'd like to speak for Thomas Easterwood. He had called me the other day. Thomas has got the flu, and thank goodness he stayed at the house. He is building his house right on down below Mr. Chumley's property, which is part of Mineral Springs Road. He has no issue of closing the road. He just wants to be sure it doesn't get closed in front of his house. He'd like to be able to get back for it. So he wanted me to make a comment to that point, or at least he can still get in there. The other property owners didn't have an issue either way. It didn't matter to them one way or the other.
So the way I understood that. It basically runs it from about like here. We would have a special, we would develop a sketch for it.
Yeah, and I believe, Rodney, right here, we got behind us. Yeah.
Y'all can see it probably better up there.
So we were talking, what keeps growing?
What's in red there?
What's in red right here, Faye? Talking about closing it from right here, going down. 'Cause I think that's the 108 side up there.
That's the 108, that's Bethany Road.
Oh, that's Bethany right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Bethany right here. Come on back on the other side. Where's Mr. Easterwood's? Is that his?
Right where your finger is, go to the right just a hair.
It's that triangle
Yeah,
piece.
triangle.
Okay, so what he is asking, if we're gonna close off maintenance, to wait till we get to the end of his property before we do that. And I have,
Which is what, that's what Rob, I think that's what Rob is.
yeah,
Those were the numbers that I gave you today, Phil.
Yeah, and so that would be 1.057 miles or 5,580 feet in Mineral Springs Road.
and that hasn't been maintained for, I think, 20-something years, I believe.
No, it hasn't. You can't get through it.
I don't think you can get through there with a four-wheeler. All right.
If there's no other questions or comments on that one, I'll ask the board if y'all want to have entertain a motion on whether or not to remove that section that's just been described in Mineral Springs Road from the county road system.
Make a move that we take that off the county road system. Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let it know by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting, thank y'all for being here. Appreciate the attendance. Thank you for your patience of staying after the executive session, even though Bart did stay. And y'all have a safe weekend. Hopefully it'll give us some warm weather for a few days. This meeting is now adjourned.